Let's look now in a little more detail at the Forex market and note two things. First of all, let's get the units right. In the foreign exchange market, on the vertical axis we have the exchange value of the dollar, which always has the foreign currency on top. Let's say yen per dollar. That's the exchange value of the dollar. There's the quantity of dollars and the foreign exchange market for dollars. So in the foreign exchange market for dollars, in this case I'm doing dollars and yen, there's some demand curve for dollars. And the first question to ask ourselves always is, why does it have this slope? Why is it that when the exchange value is high, Q1 dollars are demanded? Somewhere in between, Q2 will be demanded, and at a low exchange rate of the exchange value of the dollar, point C, a high number of dollars will be demanded. Well, the way to see this is to think about what is happening to the yen price of the same good. Let's say we're talking about a trip to Hawaii that costs $10,000. How much does that cost a Japanese tourist? Well, the answer, it turns out, depends on the exchange value of the dollar. Let's say that at point A, the exchange value of the dollar is $800, that it takes 800 yen to buy $1. Well, if it takes 800 yen to buy $1, then it costs how much? 8 million yen. If 800 yen equals $1, then 8 million yen equal $10,000. But what if the exchange value of the dollar falls? Let's say the value of the dollar falls to 500 yen per dollar. At 500 yen per dollar, now it only costs 5 million yen. So it's the same trip to Hawaii. The same trip to Hawaii used to cost a Japanese consumer 8 million yen, now only costs 5 million. And what if we take it further? At point C, let's say the exchange value of the dollar has fallen to 200. $200 per dollar. Now that same vacation costs only 2 million yen. So it shouldn't surprise us that when the exchange value of the dollar is high, in other words, a strong dollar is a weak yen, when the dollar is strong and the trip costs 8 million yen, not so many Japanese tourists will go to Hawaii. When the dollar is weak, many Japanese tourists will go to Hawaii. Now, one other thing to see while we're on this subject is that anytime you're talking about the dollar-yen exchange rate, you can see the market for foreign exchange either one of two ways. And in the workbook, as you'll see, they often like to show both. That is to say, instead of showing the supply and demand for dollars, we can also show the supply and demand for yen. Here's the quantity of yen. This is the Forex market for yen. This is the exchange value of the yen, measured in the number of dollars it takes to buy 1 yen. Now, the flip side, in other words, what we see on the left is that when the value of the dollar is high, not many Japanese tourists want to go to Hawaii, and when the exchange value of the dollar is low, a lot of Japanese want to go to Hawaii. Well, we can see that exact same relationship by looking at the supply of yen instead of the demand for dollars. Because who's supplying yen in this market? Who's supplying yen in this market is Japanese tourists who want to sell their yen in order to get some dollars to go to Hawaii. A strong dollar means a weak yen. At E1, a low exchange value of the yen, sure enough, we see not many tourists wanting to supply yen in the market. A strong yen, a weak dollar, a lot of Japanese tourists want to go to Hawaii. In between, so we'll come back to this, but just note this for now. You can always talk about either the exchange market for dollars or the exchange market for yen. Notice what the question is asking you. Sometimes the question will ask you to do both. But they're flip sides of the same question.